Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. In today's video I wanted to show you how to upload your tracks to Tunecore. So if you've been watching my other videos, you will have seen that I've been with Ditto music and then I've been with Distrokid as well. And you know what, I'm trying all these different music distributors so that I can be a guinea pig for you, so that where you can learn from me, if you know, on my mistakes or successes, you know, depending on what it is, and I can share that knowledge and experience with you, so then you can basically not repeat my mistakes, or you know, or do something quicker, you know, in sort of cut down your time. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you how to upload a track or an album. It's really the same process, to Tunecore, and Tunecore is currently the music distributor that I've chosen. So I was initially with Ditto music, as I said already, and I have a video on that separately as well. Then I've been with Distrokid for a year, but Distrokid have actually raised the price quite significantly, so I now have decided to try somebody different, somebody who hopefully can offer me a service that will be sort of a relatively quick delivery to the stores, whilst I don't have to pay like an extortionate amount. And of course, for all you independent artists out there, this will be particularly important, because if you are trying to make any income from your music, obviously the lowering the cost, especially in the beginning, especially if you're just a small artist, is very important. So you don't want to spend money where you don't need to. First and foremost, I'm going to share with you what Tunecore are actually saying about how to switch to Tunecore from another distributor. Here are some pro tips on how to make the switch to Tunecore as easy as possible. First, you will need to contact your current distributor and request that they take down your content from stores. Once you've made the request, you can re-upload and distribute your release through your Tunecore account, even if the old release hasn't been removed from every store yet. Number 2. Keep in mind that there may be a few days where both versions of the release are live, or a gap between when your old version comes down and your new version goes live. This is because each store's review process is a little different when it comes to timing. Number 3. If you're okay with having more of an overlap between the old and new releases, you can go ahead and start setting up your Tunecore account. You can then begin uploading your release and select stores. Then request a takedown from your old distributor and continue to check out and distribute your release through Tunecore at the same time. And number 4, you can use the same UPC for your album and the same song ISRCs for your individual tracks, as long as the album you're redistributing is exactly the same. So this is particularly important if you are using your own ISRC codes, because in the case of Distrokid, what I wasn't happy about was that they didn't allow me to use my own ISRC codes unless I was in tier 2, which was relatively expensive, because I was paying already like $35, and they informed me they were gonna sort of raise it to almost $40. I think it was like $39.99 or something like that for an annual subscription. And with Tunecore, they allow you to use your ISRC codes no matter which tier you are in. So that is particularly crucial here. And if the album is changing in any way, for example, you've added or removed any tracks, or tracks are reordered, you cannot use the same UPC. If the individual tracks have changed, you've re-recorded the song, remixed the audio, changed the title, you cannot use the same ISRC. And of course, this is kind of obvious if you've been watching my other videos. An ISRC code applies only to a specific master, a specific recorded version of a song. Okay, so each recorded version of a song will have a unique ISRC code. And number 5, if you need a new UPC or ISRC, just leave the fields blank when uploading your release, and Tunecore will generate new ones for you for free. Okay, so this is really really important as well. So you can have that service from them. However, if you, like me, are registered with PPL, for example, and you create your own ISRC codes, then you may just, you know, do that and enter them here. So having read all this, we know what we're gonna do. Now, I'm not going to do the first suggested option, which is to firstly take down my tracks from Distrokid and then upload them to Tunecore, because I don't care even if there is an overlap. That's fine with me, because I want the songs to continue being there. I don't want any gap, so I would rather have an overlap than have any gap. So this is what I'm going to do. Firstly, I'm uploading the tracks to Tunecore. Just to tell you as well, the plan that I've chosen with Tunecore is called Rising Artist, and I'm pretty happy with that. What they offer with that plan is really good. And actually, you know, you have to be a little bit smart at this game, because to be honest with you, I still think that all this sort of business is a little bit of a scam for us artists, unfortunately, because we have to pay all this, you know, subscription fee. It's of course better to have it than not to have it, but you know, you have to pay so much, and you only take out so much, because obviously of how much the streams pay you. But it is what it is, and you have to be a little bit smart and try and navigate, and sometimes it's good to look for a better offer or to find a bargain. And I think in this case, hopefully, fingers crossed, I have found something that sort of is both satisfying my needs in terms of the releases, but also it won't cost me an arm and leg. Okay, so the Rising Artist package that I've chosen is going to cost me £12.99. So it's not in dollars, it's in Great British pounds. £12.99 per year on this plan. Okay, and for this plan I can have as many releases as I want. Okay, so and I get 100% royalties back from them. Okay, from all streaming. Yeah, so that's particularly important. I think it's minus the social media platforms, from which you get 80% of the royalties, but that's still a good deal. So let's just stick with that, and I'm gonna show you. So when you finally sort of register, so obviously initially you have to create an account, and that's pretty easy. Give them your details, sort of choose a plan, and then once you've done all that, you can start adding your releases. So this is pretty simple. So I'm on this screen here, and all I need to do is, as you can see here in blue, it says add release. So I'm going to do that, and in this particular case this is going to be a single. Now, I've already got this released on Distrokid. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna log on to my Distrokid account, and that way I will have all the details, and I will actually remember the date of the release and any details like that I need. So let me just do that. Okay, so this particular release is called Nostalgia. This is something that I released last year with Will Atkinson on bass. And let me just click on that, and I'll just check when that actually was released. So I can see this was released on the 22nd of July 2022. So 22nd of July 2022. So single title. You need to enter this. So I'm back on now on the Tunecore site. I need to add an artist. I already have an artist here, which I've added previously. Click continue. They will ask you actually if they cannot find you sort of on Spotify as a link, they will ask you to provide a link. So you can always go on Spotify website, find yourself as an artist if you're already there, copy that link and paste it here. It's really simple. Other than that, I'm already here because I've done it, and my last single that I've uploaded here is already here as well. And we have Apple also, so we can actually add both. Save selection. Does this song have explicit lyrics? No, this song actually doesn't have any lyrics anyway. in this particular example, but if you did, you'd have to say if you had an explicit lyrics. My songs at the moment don't have any, so I'm just gonna say no to that. Does an explicit version of this track exist? And we're gonna say no to that. The language is English, primary genre. So you just have to choose. I know that this is somewhat limiting sometimes, and sometimes you just have to go for what fits the best, and it certainly doesn't give you all the subgenres that exist out there, but we're just gonna concentrate on what's available and pick one that is the one that fits the best. Let me see what they sell under Brazilian in that case. Bossa Nova. So that's what we're gonna go with. It's really a bossa nova, this song, so we're gonna just leave it at that. Secondary genre, we don't need that. So these actually, that gives you a subgenre and also a secondary genre if you wanted to use it. So let's check that date. 22nd of July. The date of the original release was the 22nd of July 2022. So I'm just gonna use that here as well. And here what they give you actually is the release time for Spotify only, so you can set the time you'd like your release to go live on Spotify. I think this is particularly important for releases, so for new releases, but if you're just transferring one release from one distributor to another without any big kind of special celebration around it, then I guess you can just kind of upload it like that, and it doesn't really matter what time it goes live. Has this been previously released? I'm gonna say yes. And original release date, we're just gonna go for the same date as previously, which is the 22nd of July 2022. Okay, and now I want you to pay particular attention to this, because I made a couple of mistakes when I was uploading my album. So these are called advanced distribution features, right? So in order for you to stay on this cheapest plan, this £12.99 per year plan, right, you're not gonna be able to use your previous UPC/EAN code, for example, right? So this is really important. So if you are not precious about it, for example, because I'm gonna give you an example. So if you say, for example, if you have been selling a lot of these tracks, say on Amazon Music or something like that, then if you actually sell the tracks as opposed to the streaming and stuff like that, then that UPC, the barcode, is sort of associated with that. But to be honest, if you haven't been getting a lot of these, and all is going to happen is that the one code is going to get replaced with another code, okay? And I believe that this is not going to have any impact, on this, unless this is like a huge release. Like I said, they're already making lots of sales, and maybe you are counting towards charts. So if you want to be in the charts and you're selling your physical products or your digital downloads or something like that, and you're counting, then that would make a difference, because your UPC effectively that would kind of count towards all these different units that are being sold. But if you're not bothered about that, I would recommend to stay at this price, because what is going to happen is this UPC code is not included in the price. All right, so if you want to reuse your previous UPC code, they're gonna push you into, and I think even that professional package, which is much more expensive, it's like more than twice as expensive, I think, than this rising artist package, right? So I personally I'm not going to enter my old UPC or EAN code here, and I'm allowing Tunecore to generate a brand new one for me. All right, so you are not also allowed to enter your label name here, for example, but what they will do is they will put your artist name where the label name is. If you wanted to put the label name, you'd have to pay that extra amount, like I said, in that professional package. So that's not something I'm after at this moment in time. Like I said, if my amount of streams kind of grows in time over time, then perhaps I will consider some of these other options. At the moment, it doesn't make any economical sense to me. All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, can this release be sold worldwide? Yes. And to be honest with you, at this moment in time, we're not gonna add anything else. If you want to do like I'm doing, so like I'm not going to add any other options here, and just save release and add songs. Okay, so what you can see here is they kind of generated the ISRC code, but this, don't worry about this, because this code will change as soon as you have entered your own ISRC code and you've saved it. When it gets pushed to the stores, there will be definitely your. I've checked this before. I've already done added two releases on here before, and it definitely works. So you can see that this is currently incomplete. Okay, so firstly what you want to do is you want to add stores. So you click on that, and if you want to deliver my album, for me, I want this to be on all stores. Okay, so I don't care, I'm just gonna click deliver all to all current digital stores. Now something interesting here, I think in both Ditto Music and Distrokid, you had an ability to set your own price per song on Amazon Music. In this particular example on Tunecore, it only gives you a specific option. So if I click on edit, you see you can see here that album that has 2 tracks. So for each track sold individually, Tunecore pays you 70 cents. Yeah, 2 tracks 136, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it goes up or whatever. But you can be on the front line, mid line, which is less, catalog, which is different, or special, right, which is also different. So what I've noticed here is that the front line one, especially if you're selling individual tracks, it seems to make the most sense. I'm gonna leave it as that. Okay, so you just save this. If you want to kind of have your music at all stores, you save it, you click save, that's it. And what they're saying to you here is, you've added more stores to your release. Great. Since you're delivering to more places, there are additional requirements you'll need to complete or consider. If you're delivering to Spotify or Apple, add artist IDs to your main artists to ensure your release is mapped to the right artist pages. Store Automator, do you want us to deliver your release to a new store every time Tunecore launches a new store? And iTunes pre-order, Apple Music pre-save option. So I just click OK. I actually can't remember if you can have the Store Automator on this plan or not, but I've got another video when I was checking these options. So go there and check it out. But for now, I'm just going to carry on with what I'm doing here. So social platforms automatically selected. So as you can see, you get your YouTube. Actually, this is really interesting, that what you get here with Tunecore, which you didn't get included in the package with Distrokid, and they ask you to pay extra for this, is the YouTube content ID and then on YouTube Shorts. Yeah, so if your songs are used on YouTube, the YouTube content ID will work. And the second thing is that it will be added to YouTube Shorts, so you'll be able to use your tracks from YouTube Shorts, which is also really important. Yeah, because for some reason when I was distributing before through Distrokid, I didn't really see my tracks on YouTube Shorts, even though they were on TikTok or Instagram Reels, for example. So in this particular example, you're gonna distribute to YouTube Music like I'm doing now, YouTube Shorts plus the content ID, and distributing to TikTok, and distributing to effectively it's Meta, isn't it? So it's Facebook and Instagram and Instagram Reels. Okay, so that's really important. Okay, so what they also are proposing here is unlimited distribution to Beatport. Release your music on the premier streaming and download service used by DJs and electronic dance music fans. Well, I don't want this. One, my music is not dance music, you know, or electronic music, so I don't really care about this. I'm not gonna pay for this extra thing here. So we've got the nostalgia. So the title of the track is here, and what you need to do now is you need to put all the details around that track. So who wrote the song, who is on that track, and what roles they actually perform on that track. Okay, so first and foremost I'm gonna add my name as a songwriter, and artists and creatives who are also with you on that song. And this is pretty cool because you want to give people that recognition. Okay, so first of all it's me, so I'm just gonna say what I've done. So I've produced this song. There's no vocals on it. I've played the electric guitar. Actually, I'm not sure what's the difference between electric guitar and guitar, but just in case, lead guitar. I was a mastering engineer, I was a mixing engineer on it. I've played rhythm guitar, and I think that's it. So I'm gonna leave that, but I'm also going to add another artist who is Will Atkinson, who played with me on that track. And what we need to do is we're gonna add him as a featured artist because it's a significant contribution. He was a performer and he also played bass guitar. And he also sort of produced the drums from a program for this, but I'm not sure if that is actually available here as an option. I'm just gonna add him as an arranger. And copyright ownership, is this a cover version of another song? No. And this is an instrumental. So for example, if your song had lyrics, yeah, you could add those lyrics here, basically copy and paste or type them in. I've done that for the other releases. For this song doesn't have lyrics, so I'm just going to take that this is an instrumental song. And the last thing that I want to do here is, well, not the last thing, but the one before the last, is adding the ISRC number, the ISRC code. I already have this saved here, and I can simply copy and paste it. The TikTok clip start time. This is important if you specifically want to zone in on a specific part of a song, and effectively if you do any TikTok sort of short videos, that kind of thing, you know, because unfortunately, and I don't know why, because to be honest now TikTok has actually extended the length of a video that you can upload to 10 minutes. So I am a little bit surprised that they don't just have the full sort of versions of songs and just sort of up to a minute long, I think, but ideally they would have the full version. I don't think that's the case yet, in which case you just need to pick the starting point of your song. If you, for example, a chorus, if you think that you will be like, I don't know, lip syncing to it or doing any other videos like that, it will become helpful then. So make sure that you do that here, because I don't think that you can do it later on. I don't think that's editable once it's already published. All right. So I'm going to save these details because I'm happy with them. And the next thing that I need to do is I need to upload that track, the actual stereo track. So if you have your master, this is where you upload it. So I've got that, and I'm just uploading that from my computer, which was already stored on that. Next, you will have to upload your artwork. Okay, so if you already had it, or even if it's a new release, you will need a perfect square for your cover, okay, for your single or your album, which the recommended size is 3000 by 3000 pixels. Okay, so bear that in mind, because otherwise they will not accept it and you won't be able to publish that. So what I'm gonna do is click edit artwork, and it gives you options here. So you can either upload your own artwork, or you can use the cover art creator. However, let me be clear, I don't think that option exists within the Rising Artist package. So you just have to check that, but I don't think that it does, and it might ask you to pay extra. So it's better to prepare your own artwork, I think, in this instance. So I'm gonna upload my own artwork. and I've got it here, so I'm just going to upload it. This is what the requirements are, so they give you the actual requirements checklist. File has to be JPG, PNG or GIF, image, file smaller than 10 megabytes, at least 1600 by 1600 pixels in size, but iTunes recommends files to be 3000 by 3000 by 3000 pixels. So it has to be a perfect square, no blurriness, pixelation or white space. Title and artist must match the release exactly, and the featuring artist you put on the artwork must be credited in the release information, which I have done. No extra information or labels. Ownership, so you own this artwork and everything in it. Stores will reject your artwork if it contains images you found online that you don't have the explicit right to use. Okay, so I'm just going to save my artwork, and it has been successfully saved. Okay, so now I can see that my release is ready to be submitted. Okay, so there we go. Nostalgia featuring Will Atkinson by Bartek Piwoński. It's ready. Release date is the date that I used previously. I've got my own ISRC code. They've given me the new UPC code, and yeah, everything's here. I know that it will be sent to these stores, and I know they will be sent to these social media platforms. And the artwork has been added. So the next thing that you do once you've added all these details is distribute your single, okay, or an album, but the album works in exactly the same way. So distribute with plan. Click on that, and it tells you confirm this release is ready to deliver before proceeding. You can't make changes after checkout. Social platforms, YouTube, TikTok and Facebook were auto-selected for delivery. You can remove them, by the way. Delivering ineligible content to YouTube Content ID can result in account suspension. And you must click here to review the rules. So remove YouTube Content ID if your release is ineligible. You can always find out if it is or it isn't. Is my music eligible for YouTube Content ID? So you can submit specific tracks to YouTube Content ID for revenue collection that 1. Use only your own material for which you have exclusive rights, and use third-party material for which you have exclusive rights. Okay, so effectively you have to have all the rights to these things, and that way your tracks will be eligible. Ineligible, you cannot submit specific tracks to YouTube Content ID for revenue collection that contain instrumental content that has previously been used in other tracks, such as some samples or beats, even if it's now exclusively licensed to you. Contain any ambient sound effects like nature sounds, production loops such as GarageBand loops, or samples from audio libraries like MusicBed or Audio Jungle. Meditation, yoga or sleep music. Contain 10 plus consecutive seconds of spoken word material, interestingly enough. Contain public domain clips or speeches. Karaoke, sound alike or tribute cover versions. Covers of traditional or public domain songs, including but not limited to children's music, classical pieces, holiday songs, religious songs or hymns. Are part of a compilation, various artists' releases, DJ set or continuous mix. Or you have previously licensed to a third party on an exclusive basis, are already monetized on YouTube by another distributor, are video game, TV or film soundtracks, unless you are the publisher, were created solely for the use in YouTube videos to exploit content ID. E.g. music used for end cards. Okay, so now you've got it. This is the eligibility stuff. But we don't want that. We want to go back and we want to distribute this with plan. So we're back here, we've got everything ready, and we click distribute with plan. And then we need to click go to checkout. So as you can see, because I'm on this Rising Artist package, I can upload as many releases as I want with no further fee, right? And that's really key here, right? So this is free with my plan. So, important about the timings, I've spoken about this before. Your single will be live upon approval by our content review team. This, might take a couple of days, I think they say, but It's not going to take as long as with Ditto music. I've already checked, and I think I've uploaded the other album, and I think it's already in stores, and I think that was like a couple of days ago. But I might actually do a separate video on the timings with Tunecore, just to make sure that it's definitely what I'm saying, and it's definitely quick enough for you not to worry about anything. So we're gonna click, oh sorry, before we do that, they give you this other option, promote your music and grow your career, for $6.99, right? So Tunecore Social is your all-in-one solution for social media management with the capabilities of multiple apps all in one place. Get comprehensive social media analytics, post and schedule to Facebook and Twitter, design posts with photo editing tools, and streamline sharing your releases with Linkshare, plus an exclusive app on iPhone and Android services. Well, I don't need that. I make my own videos anyway. I make my own shorts, TikTok videos, you name it, on something else. Anyway, I'm not gonna be using this. So I'm just gonna click release music. And as you can see, subtotal is £0, so I'm not paying anything extra for this. So I'm just gonna click release music. And what they tell you here is you're opted in to Tunecore Accelerator. By opting in, you're giving Tunecore the green light to handpick and submit any track from your Tunecore catalog to exclusive promotional programs like Spotify Discovery Mode, YouTube Creator Music, Spotify DJ Mixes, and more. It's a great way to reach a wider audience with minimal effort on your part. Just keep in mind, we can't guarantee that your tracks will be selected. We can learn more just to find out what is Tune Accelerator. Tunecore Accelerator is a program to help you meet promotional goals as an artist, with a focus on early access to beta programs with our store partners, as well as other promotional tools built by Tunecore. By opting in to Tunecore Accelerator, you'll gain access to programs like Spotify Discovery Mode, Spotify DJ Mixes, YouTube Creator Music, the Tunecore Store Awareness Program, and more. To learn more about the programs included in Tunecore Accelerator, check out the articles on the left-hand side of your screen. So I'm not going to do that right now. If you meet the eligibility criteria, you automatically be opted into Tunecore Accelerator. If you change your mind and you don't like to you'd like to opt out, you can do so at any time right from your Tunecore dashboard. So actually, to be honest with you, you're not risking anything. Although opting out into Tunecore Accelerator gives you access to its programs, we cannot guarantee that any of your releases will be eligible for any of the individual opportunities. Please note, you cannot opt in or out of any individual tools within Tunecore Accelerator. When you opt into the program, you are giving us permission to opt you into all of the services offered with the Tunecore Accelerator. So effectively opting into everything or nothing, right? So let's go back. I'm just gonna say awesome. I'm opting in because, you know, that might boost, you know, your presence. And effectively they say thank you, congratulations, you've successfully submitted your release. Please allow 1 to 2 business days for your release to be reviewed by our content review team. Once your music has been approved, it will be sent to stores. You can see how long it takes for content to become available in stores. Before I go there though, if you have other collaborators on your record and they are also registered with Tunecore, you can do splits. So effectively you can create a new split here individually. If you don't worry about it. So what does it, how soon? How long does it take for my music to go live in stores? When creating your release, it's always best to select a future release date to ensure your release goes live on all platforms at the same time. We always recommend fully uploading your release for distribution 3 to 4 weeks ahead of your target release date or pre-order start date. Obviously that's for new releases. If you are interested in submitting your release for playlist consideration, your release will need to be approved by Tunecore and processed in the stores at least 2 weeks prior to your release date. To avoid any additional delays, please make sure your release meets the formatting requirements of our store partners. After submitting your release, it will go through our content review process. Tunecore's review process generally takes about 2 business days to review your release. Once your release has been approved, it will be sent to stores immediately. And that's very important, because this is very similar to Distrokid actually in the speed. But like I said, I will explore this in more detail, because I want to really be exact in terms of what I'm saying. And at this point it will be each store's responsibility to make the release live. Alright? And then you have examples, approximate lifetimes. Once a release has been reviewed by the Tunecore team. Spotify, 2 to 5 business days. iTunes, Apple Music, 1 to 2 business days. Amazon Music, 1 to 3 business days. Deezer, 3 to 4. iHeartRadio, 1 to 2 weeks. But I think that's exactly the same with any distributor anyway, because these are the times of these platforms and not the times of the distributor themselves. Alright? Tidal, 1 to 3 business days. TikTok, 5 business days. YouTube Music, 1 to 2 weeks. So again, some platforms take longer than others to process this stuff. Okay, so other stores also tell you here, so you can actually go through that and you can kind of see how long these things are likely to take. But effectively, I've done it now. That release has been submitted via Tunecore. I have high hopes for this now, because like I said, the price is a lot more appealing than what I had to pay through Distrokid, and still I can use my ISRC codes, and hopefully the speed of uploads is going to be much better than through Ditto Music, which I'm really hoping that this distributor will be something that I've been looking for, like something in between where I can actually get my releases out there without sort of paying like an extortionate amount, and I can still sort of retain my ISRC codes and everything that I need. So I will update you at some point about how this is going and how long these things have taken to get to the stores, but for now that's the end of this video. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this is helpful for you, and I will see you in my next video.